Well, hello, and welcome to Stop Let's Team Up, episode 95, 4 for 4, number 4. And I'm joined again by Kirby, and we're going to cover FFs 13, 14, 15, and 16 from 1963. Say hi, Kirby.
Hi, Russ. It's great to be back.
Yeah, any excuse to talk old FF. And to actually give it a second chance. One of the best things I've liked about doing these 4 for 4 after I read that first omnibus and kind of bashed it a little bit, was a chance to read it a second time because I was plowing through it. I read this omnibus in about 2 weeks, which is pretty fast for me. So, and we're going to start with one of the ones that I said was the one that kind of turned me. I liked more than I liked some of the first 12, other than like the classic early ones. And this is the introduction of Red Ghost. So let's get some pertinent information real quick on this one. I'm going to use a little Mike's Amazing World, a little fandom wiki. All right, so this is FF13. It was cover dated April 1963. It was on sale January 3rd, 1963. Cost a whopping 12 cents. It's titled The Red Ghost, 22 pages. This is going to get you. And I didn't know until I saw this on Mike's Amazing World. And you'll when I say the name, you'll go, oh, really? Writer Stan Lee, penciler Jack Kirby, inker Steve Ditko. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. For their panel
face.
Yeah. I kind of thought I got a really Wally Wood feel with some of the faces. So, but Artie Simek letterer. This has been reprinted so many times, I'm not going to count it. Main characters of Fantastic Four. Mr. Fantastic, Invisible Girl, but I will always call her Visible Woman. Human Torch, The Thing. First appearance of the Watcher. And the first appearance of the Red Ghost, who I've never really liked, but now that I've read his origin story, and being a child of the Cold War, I kind of like the evil Russian guy. And his magic and his space monkeys, Miko, Petor, and Igor. So basically, I'm going to give you the synopsis of the framing sequence. After an experiment on a strange meteor fragment, Reed Richards wants to take a rocket to the blue area of the moon where it came from. Meanwhile, in the Soviet Union, a Russian scientist named Ivan Kragov completes his training of 3 apes who will pilot their own rocket mission to the moon. As the Fantastic Four are blasting off Kragoff, so is Kragov and his apes seeking a duplicate the accident that made the Fantastic Four, that gave them their powers. Kragov has designed his ship to be transparent. That's a really good idea. So that he and his apes would be exposed to even more greater dose of cosmic rays. Let's just do the cover really quick. I love this cover.
This is a good cover.
It is. It's got way too many word balloons and descriptors, but it's all very 1960s. It's got the big arrow pointing down to one of the bubbles. Please read this big bubble that looks like a bursting. If you had noticed it, enough fantasy and super characters to fill 3 magazines, one of the most fantastic tales of all. More than 200,000 miles from Earth, the Fantastic Four face the menace of the Red Ghost. Also in this spellbinding tale, you will meet the most dramatic being of all time, the mysterious Watcher. Who is he? What is he? Mystery on the Moon. Because this thing is crammed full of... one reason I think this is one of my favorite ones, even though it's got some of the cheesy kiddie stuff, at times, there's just so much FF lore in it. And... the Watcher hasn't changed that much, except he looks a little more human and personable. You know what I mean? He's very alien in this.
Yeah, no, he's going to go through some changes before they finally settle on what he really looks like. But no, personality-wise, again, this is one of those. He's here from the beginning.
No, it's great. So I want to ask you something. First, let's start with Red Ghost, because this is really about him and his 3 monkeys. I always thought of him as kind of a joke character, because he was by the time I was a kid. But now I really kind of like him. As someone who's not... See, I wasn't born when this came out. But, I grew up in D.C. during the Cold War. So, the Russians were the bad guys then as they are now in a way. But you know what I mean? It's
Yep.
but so I have a soft spot for these Cold War sci-fi tales. But I really like this character more. I think there's more to him than in later portrayals, and that may be because of some of the other reasons.
Yeah, so for me, like again, I was born, I guess technically, I was born in 1990, so I never really experienced the Cold War. So there's always that little disconnect I have. I can easily see how this character quickly turned into like a total cartoon because this is such a ridiculous, like just base concept. But as part of the space race, it makes total sense why there would be a evil astronaut counterparts to the FF.
Yeah, the Soviets would have done it. There was this. I mean, that's why the space race happened and the arms race and all this other stuff happened. It was just a competition between these two nations to stay on top. And I like it. I mean, it's the 60s. It's the early 60s. So you've got, monkeys that, we were training monkeys. This is early what people were experimenting with training monkeys to do more tasks. And it's kind of silly, but it is so 60s sci-fi Cold War stuff that I think it has that nostalgia, but I think it really works in a lot of ways because they lean into the sci-fi part of it, less so than the superhero part.
Right, which I think definitely helps the story with this, because if Red Ghost put himself in his 3 apes into spandex, this story would have really fallen apart.
Oh, no, yeah, and that he can't really control them after they have their powers for a little bit.
I just do want to say, like, this is not the first time I've seen a monkey fire a machine gun, and it will not be the last in all of comicdom, and that just amuses me. I'm sorry.
Oh, I know. I like the orangutans, the mechanic.
And this is pre-Planet of the Apes. I don't remember when the book came out, but yeah, the movie is not going to be out for like another 5-6 years.
The book may not have been out yet. I've read it, and I can't remember when it came out. It's so different than the movies.
Yep.
But I like it, and I'm a big space nerd. I mean, I remember staying up and watching the moon landing with I was little. I was not even 5. I was like 4.5. I remember sitting with the family. I don't remember the actual images I saw, but I remember my dad going, "You need this, you need to see this." So I like the space race part of it, and I think that's part of it. And I think Kirby's art with Ditko is really good.
Yeah, like again, the thing I really kind of clicks for me in this issue, especially like it might just be unintentional, but like he doesn't give him pupils, which a lot of the time, which I really do like.
Oh yeah, I catch you. I think now that I know it's Ditko, there's a lot of embellishments that he does that are so good with the thing. I think his thing is better because of Ditko. I think Red Ghost and the monkeys are good because of Ditko. I think all the aliens that, when we see the Watcher showing all the alien species and the view of the destroyed city in the blue area for the first time, and it is, no one really changes it. Nope. I mean, I see the end of the Dark Phoenix saga in that one chapter header because it's they walk right past that in this.
And I think at some point it's revealed like this was a Kree outpost or something. I don't think that's referenced here.
No, it's not. You read it in the end of the Engelhart era as the origin of the Coty.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what that is. This was one of those. Oh,
that's where. Okay.
This is where some of the Coty were planted. They put the Skrull and the Kree and they built the city on the moon, and then killed each other. Engelhart, not fixing something, but embellishing on it. But I really like this. I like the fighting between the monkeys and the Fantastic Four. And Chapter 3, The Watcher appears. It's a great entrance. And it's like, wow. And Chapter 3 is only 3 pages because it's just the Watcher moving the pieces.
Yep. I'm trying to think of this. There's at least like 3 TOS episodes that have this same basic plot of omnipotent being watches our heroes fight.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm probably selling that short.
Oh, yeah, no, I think you're right. Overall, it's there's a lot going on in the 22 pages. I mean, I just think this one works better than a lot of them. It cuts down on the kiddiest stuff. I mean, there are jokes and some little gags with the monkeys and stuff like that. But it is just such a perfectly constructed FF story. I mean, this would take 3 issues to tell nowadays, maybe 4.
Yeah.
But it's just jam-packed, and I think I really like the Ditko ink. So, what's your overall take on this one?
I think especially reading this last night, it really it's more of like what I liked in the Burn FF, where it was like cosmic scale, because I feel this is the first time we're getting like putting the FF on the cosmic scale, and they learn right away from the Watcher, you guys aren't even players here.
Oh,
and
yeah.
That's just.
Yeah, we're gonna.
And I think that's what I really like.
Yeah, I know, and I've gotten to the point in my initial read through where there's a lot of cosmic shit, the negative zone, big in space, but we're seeing it here and introducing the Watcher and all these things with the Watcher. When the Red Ghost is going through the house, when he's crossing through the house, the Watcher's house, and gets thrown out the other side and captured, the Watcher's like, "What are you? Foolish Earthling, you dare to serve the privacy of the Watcher? In one brief microsecond, I can transport you in limbo, where you could remain throughout all of eternity. Or by expending the smallest amount of mental energy, I could throw you 1,000,000 years in the past, or equally far distance in the future." And it's just like, yeah, dude, you're a bug. And this was the first one that I really kind of went, this is an FF story I could read over and over again. Mm-hmm. And I just really like it.
Yeah, no, yeah, there's not too much more I could add that just won't get us off. Like, I've seen just to go back, the NASA, like, seeing what they actually put the monkeys in, and it's like, oh, yeah, no, if I were these apes, I'd be angry and pissy, too.
Yeah, no shit. It is, oh my God, when I was a little kid and I heard about the monkeys and the dogs, I was like, you fuckers, man.
Oh, God, actually, I don't know how well known it was that I think the Russians were the first ones to put dogs in space. I don't know if in '63 that was known.
Yeah, yeah, because but Gagarin been up. Yeah, I forget the name of one dog, but they used it in a Doctor Who novel, where the Doctor finds the capsule in space with a dead dog and takes it to this planet and buries it with honor, because his body's been stolen as a weapon. All right, so let's move on to Fantastic Four 15, which cover dated May 1963, February 12, 1960, release date 12 cents. Its creative team is Stan Jack Dick Ayers on inks as he was prior. Artie Simek, this one has been reprinted 1,000 times. Roll call's the same. Alicia Masters in this one. Puppet Masters return, and the Submariner's in it. This has a pretty good this is a standard early Submariner cover. Subs kidnapped Sue, and the other 3 are coming to get him.
Yeah, it's got like a little Western standoff kind of pose for him, but it's there. I don't love this cover, but I don't think it's bad either.
Well, I don't look forward to the Silver Surfer. God damn it, did it again. The Submariner stories in these early ones because I don't find them as interesting as I do later.
No.
So I do like that the story. We're seeing also connectivity in it from issue to issue. Like they're just coming back from the moon, and this made me feel, oh, good, you're interconnecting the crap now. It's not one and dones. When are we going to get to the good stuff? I like this. I like the pogo plane landing.
Yes, and I remembered something I wanted to ask. So in the Marvel Universe, Neil Armstrong is like, sorry, buddy, in the history books.
Oh, yeah. When they get to that point, they're like, oh, how do we... It's like when they had to do the movies in the 80s, 90s, and whatever. It's like, how do you do that without the space race? And I think I hope the rumors of the new FF movie being set in the 60s is true.
Yes.
I like that. And I do like the casting. I actually do like the casting a great deal.
I do too. I just hope the Galactus part is not true.
What's that?
That's me. That Galactus is going to be the villain.
Yeah, it's too much. Don't go there. That's too big. It's too big
Yeah.
right away. It's too big.
Yep.
Do the Mole Man or something, which would make someone that would make a deformed person a villain, which is in bad taste. So
Yeah. Get Danny DeVito to do it, maybe. Split the difference? Or is that still on the bad side?
I guess that would be on the bad side. I don't think you would have that penguin again, which would be fine by me because I hate his penguin. That is not his fault. It's just you should have read the fucking comics. But I like this one. It's okay. I like the Puppet Master. I've decided that I like the Puppet Master more than I used to. I don't know if it's because of these stories, but I do like him as a villain in some way.
He's a good behind-the-scenes sort of guy, which is what he does here. And I think his plot of controlling Namor to fight them, and if he wipes them all out, great. If Namor gets wiped out, fine. It works better than I think his first appearance did.
Oh no. Yeah, I think it does too because he's a little smarter. I like the thing that he hidden. You see that he's in hiding and he's doing all this stuff, but most of it is just more banter and fighting with Submariner, which I don't find that as interesting. I think it's the same plot over and over again, except now someone's manipulating him.
Yep, and he's always going to be capturing Sue, and she's always going to be getting caught, and it's like, oh my god, guys, come on, at least think of a new wrinkle to add to it, and even with Puppet Master, it's not that big of a wrinkle.
Yeah, so I mean, that one did not go up in my estimation, except I kind of went, I do like the Puppet Master, and I do like the design of the Puppet Master. He's really creepy looking.
Last time, as soon as you pointed out that he has the jawline like a marionette, that really clicked for me.
Yeah, I know Byrne kind of put it in there, and I thought he had thought of it, but then it's like, Byrne, you're not doing anything Jack didn't do. You were just doing what Jack did because you felt everything in between Jack and you was wrong, and I don't agree with you 100%, but I do think the best two runs FF, top two are Jack and Byrne.
Yep, I can't argue.
I'm a big fan of some of it. I like the Englehart era. I like the Walt Simonson stuff. I really like the Paul Ryan stuff.
I'm going to read the Wade soon, so.
Wade's good, but it's Wade.
Yeah.
He's never.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So let's move on to 15. We're going to do these quick because.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I didn't do a plot for Namor one because there isn't really a plot.
No.
No.
And wasn't a whole lot for me in that one.
Yeah, so hold on, let's advance to number 15, which is this is the introduction of the Mad Thinker.
Yep.
And I've not really liked a lot of Mad Thinker stories, but I actually kind of enjoyed this one in a way. I mean, it has some dumb Lee Kirby stuff in it. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
That he's always posed like the Thinker, the statue is stupid, but that it's okay. I think the cover's okay, but I think the splash page is. I love the splash page.
The splash page should have been the cover, in all honesty.
Yeah, it's the same creative team for everything: Lee, Kirby, Ayers, Seamet. But there's some stuff that doesn't. Johnny's on a date and he abandons her. Sue's getting her hair done
in the full uniform. And I just know I've seen that girl somewhere. Well, she's wearing her freaking superhero outfit. I mean,
the Ben's being called a sissy, which is,
Mm-hmm. He's about to murder the Yancey Street gang with a bulldozer.
Yeah, I'm going to throw a bulldozer at the top of a brownstone in Brooklyn. Yeah, that's a good idea. But the Thinker's not a bad. I think he's a good villain. But when he calls in the gangsters to be his henchmen, and he shows how he's going to take over the world, but how he knows that this would happen or that would happen, is very kind of.
I was going to say, it's like it relies on split-second detail, which just kind of stretches that credibility a little too much for me.
And that's kind of my problem with it, is that I can't see where the math would lead to any of this shit. Like when you see a Guy Ritchie Sherlock Holmes movie, which, as a Holmes fan, I should hate, but I like Guy Ritchie movies, so what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
But you see the thought. I love the Moffat Gatiss. I think that's because you see, it reads like the books do, where he goes this and this and this and this means this, and it's like, oh, all of that's there. He's noticed it. They make sure everything he says you could have seen if you were paying attention. Yes. And I even like the Johnny Lee Miller and Lucy Liu one. Elementary.
Oh, right. Elementary?
Yeah, it was good. It was good for a 1 hour cop show, and they just happened to be Sherlock Holmes and Joan Watson. But the secondary characters, the African American cop is great. His boss is great. The guy that Ian Ifans from Notting Hill and the Harry Potter movies is his brother. He's really good. Yeah, it's really good.
Okay, I can see that.
Oh, and the New Zealand actor from Lord of the Rings and Fringe.
Fred?
Fringe.
Oh, no.
Played the dad. He played the insane, the crazy scientist.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God, what's his name? I'll remember it. But the Mad Thinkers, I don't see their logic. I'll find his name before we go so I can apologize, because he is one of my. He plays. He's a character I really like in Lord of the Rings movies because he's so broken. He's just so broken. And then he did a lot of American TV, and I liked it. He stayed, but I like it. He's a very Kirby villain. The design's good. The machine, what is it? His headquarters, it has facts, obvious facts, fact remote, fact incidental, observation, possibilities, probabilities, and he has all, everything's nice and labeled like a Kirby machine. But I kind of like it. I kind of like it. He shows what his plan was, and he shows where he's failed, where I knew a hot dog vendor would go by across the street. How the fuck would you know a hot dog vendor?
Yeah, that's my problem with, and it's like I can enjoy Silver Age nonsense, but this is just.
And it gets bigger. It's okay. The hot dog vendor, the pipes burst. A monkey in New York lights a fire. Okay.
That has the evidence that would send me to jail in it. I knew that would happen.
Oh my God, it's so out of control. And then Johnny's cousins, the circus freaks, Tex or Bones and
I think it's just Shorty.
Shorty, that's and he
it just says Shorty here. So yeah, 60s.
Oh, do they ever come back? That's kind of what
I swear. I think I see them come back at least once later in this run.
Hold on a second. Let me look in the fandom wiki, because Mike's Amazing World doesn't have a lot of details.
No.
Bones and Bailey's Circus. Okay. Bones and Shorty. Let's see how many appearances they have, because I think. Wait a minute. I think this is their first and only appearance.
Oh. I could have sworn I'd seen.
Maybe they don't have all the details. I would hope.
I swear I've seen Johnny in the circus besides this issue.
Yeah, well, they liked the circus back then.
Yeah.
But overall, on this one, it was. You had the meteor. Like a meteor hit that big near New York, there'd be destruction.
Yep.
And the circus stuff, it's got a lot of cute stuff. I think the art's really good. I think Jack is getting a little more in tune. The thing looks less comedic at times.
I'm seeing it's on page 13. Reed is in some GE machine, and it's looking more and more Kirby tech there.
Oh yeah.
Which is good.
Oh yeah, I like how he goes through machines. I like that they all have. The Thinker gives them distractions. Johnny.
So you thought it was okay to go back to Hollywood?
Yeah. And it's so ridiculous. Ben goes into the wrestling ring and ties somebody up in a bow like a Warner Brothers cartoon. and the whole Baxter Building's covered in crystal. So it's really action packed. We get the Thinker's android. He was there. I didn't realize he was there from the start. He's a pretty good henchman.
He looks. Oops, sorry.
I always liked him as a kind of henchman.
it's such a weird design. I always think it should be like more of like a Doom Patrol villain or something, just because of like how the head is shaped.
Oh yeah. That it makes no sense, but it has a mouth to blow air and make noises, but that's about it. It's really weird. It's not as cool. I like Dragon Man. Is Dragon Man a robot too, right?
Yeah, Dragon Man's a robot too, and I was thinking like, okay, Dragon Man was kind of their take two on this basic concept, because I mean it's actually I think the exact same color scheme.
It is, but I like that Dragon Man became part of the family.
Yeah.
I did. I like him. He was very Red Tornado. But, I mean, it was okay. We're still going back that these are one and dones. So you're reading in the Epic, or?
Yeah. I'm reading in the Epic.
So does it have the Fantastic Four pinup of the four of them by Stan?
Yep. Yeah, it's got them right there with kind of Ben crouching down and all that.
I like that version of Ben a lot. That's a nice, finished, polished pencil and ink.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't seem rushed. I think it looks really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Sue, yeah, that's a haircut. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, that's 60s hair. Jack was looking through his wife's magazines or something.
Oh my God. And she probably saw it and said, "Don't ever think I'd wear that. What the hell wrong with you?" I will say this: you don't have the letter pages, do you?
No, I don't.
There is a letter regarding FF11 by Roy Thomas, 307 Greens Ferry Road, Jackson, Missouri. And he talks about the Impossible Man. It's interesting, but not interesting to read out loud. So now we're going to move on to 16. This is a little quicker than I thought, which in some ways is a good thing. So, but this one, I got a lot more thoughts. I have more thoughts on this one and the first one than I do.
The middle two?
Yeah, the middle two.
Yeah.
Middle two are just early 60s FF stories. They're worth reading, folks. They're worth reading. But they are for children, and they are just a little bit dated.
Yeah.
Stop putting Sue in curlers. It's just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. So 16. I just want to see something. All right. So I got all the information I need. Yes. Ooh, wait a minute. This has everything I need on this one. This issue was released on April 9th, 1963. Cover dated July 1963. The creative team is the exact same as before. This does have a colorist credit on the fandom wiki of Stan Goldberg. We have Ant-Man as a guest star, regular roll call. Alicia Masters is here. Victor Von Doom is the protagonist. We also get to see the Wasp briefly, which was very cool. I don't think I have ever read this until the first time I read it. I hope it's in. I'm thinking about. I would like to get the two Ant-Man epics just to have that stuff because I do like Hank Pym. I had the Essential, but I sold it. But I really like this. I love this cover. The Return of Dr. Doom, the most fearful supervillain. And the little mini FF in his hand, and then the Ant-Man under a magnifying glass with a special guest star pointing at him. And the title is Visit the Mysterious Micro-World of Dr. Doom. And then the splash page is freaking amazing.
I know.
I want a poster of that.
Yes.
Because it is so over the top, and like it just looks like a bad movie poster. Not a bad movie poster, but a movie poster for a bad movie.
Yes. I like just Ben destroying the microscope is so much fun in this.
Do you see more and more? I see a lot of Burns FF in these early issues more so than later issues.
I think now that we're kind of past that initial, like once we've hit that Red Ghost story, I'd say that's really where I'm seeing the John Byrne as a kid reading it.
It's the heavy inks, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's a lot of heavy black lines in it, which is good. So I like that this one jumps into the story after it's already started. Because I thought I'd missed something. It's like, wait a minute, what's going on? Oh. The first time I read it, yeah.
They're going to fill us in.
Yeah, they just fill us in, and that makes it a little more interesting. I like that Johnny is one, some dude's going to try to claim a comet. He's not smart enough to realize that that's too close. There was no power in a hospital, but luckily he flew by and lit it up. Bank robbers got caught because there's no darkness as he's flying across. I love all that kind of weird, that's 6 panels. Why is it in there? It's a little silly. It's just, I like it.
But that Silver Age nonsense, I really do enjoy.
Yeah. I think sometimes the Marvel Silver Age nonsense doesn't hit with me because I'd read so much DC Silver Age silliness, and I just prefer it. But I do like to see, and Johnny finds his 3 teammates being sucked into the air vent. I don't know of any air vent in any building that is that powerful.
No.
I think that would make your building kind of cave in on itself, like there's someone crushing a beer can. But they all grow back, and then we get a flashback. Johnny was shrunk down into the motor of his car and thrown out. I'd hate to be his car insurer.
Okay.
Because he keeps lighting him on fire as he flies off. His girlfriends only have eyebrows on one side of their face. And, but Ben breaks up the room and it ends up in Reed's guinea pig cage. Oh man, dude, Reed, you better not be experimenting on guinea pigs, you fucker.
Oh, he is.
He is.
He is.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, look at the next panel. Yeah, well, so what? It's just a guinea pig. He's got the smirk on his face. Sue has this really bad haircut. It's really bugging me. But she's on TV.
Takes forever.
It is. But I like this whole thing, and they spend 4 pages of it.
I didn't mean them doing the flashback. Sorry, I just meant Sue's hair to get not ridiculous. Takes forever.
Oh my! Oh no! Yeah, it's issues. I can't even. I think it's not even in this volume. Oh, she gets a fancy schmancy one when we get near the wedding. But then we get Ant-Man and the Wasp, which is cool. Wasp is a new character. It says even in the little editor's note, meet the Wasp, Ant-Man's new partner in peril, starting with issue 44. So this may have come out before she'd been introduced.
Oh, wow.
Let me look.
Yeah, I was going to kind of go, when was Jan Van Dyne's first appearance credited as?
Let's see. Oh, it doesn't say. Hold on.
I have it as, on Wikipedia, regular Wikipedia, listed as Tales to Astonish 44. So, I don't know, maybe it came out the same week? Maybe. Or same month, at least.
Maybe. It's where they battle the Cyclops. No, that's 46. Ooh, wrong one. It jumped to that for some reason. So maybe it came out between 45 and 46 of A Tales of Astonish, because that's where it kind of directed me to on Fandom Wiki, which is fine. Those are good. If you haven't read them, there's some interesting Lee Kirby stuff. And then you get some early Heck. Because when he's Giant Man, Kirby leaves. But I like Ant-Man. I like this costume. I think he was perfect for the story. There's some FF tropes, Ben becoming human and then not being human.
That's gotta just be wrecking his lifespan. Just the amount of times he's gone back and forth on this, just in these first year and a half alone.
Well, and he tells him in this one, "Oh, don't stop doing it. She loves me as a thing." But 20 issues later, he's like, "Oh, make me human because I want her to love me as me," not realizing that the thing is you,
Mm-hmm.
But we spend from when Ant-Man comes in to when they get sucked down. It's 5 pages of. Them going back to their daily lives. I mean, they have 22 pages to play with.
Yeah. And Sue is trying to overcome, people could probably still smell her or whatever. So she's at least, trying to be more proactive on using her powers. So, you got at least something. Even, again, if it's dated, it's at least a step in the right direction.
Yeah. I think sometimes they nail Sue. I don't think they always write Sue as sexist. I think when they put her in more domestic things, knowing that they were men of their generation, she'd be the homemaker. It's
mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I probably in both your marriages, you guys were not in charge.
Right.
So I just find it weird. But then they get shrunk down, and we end up there in the microwave where Doom ended up. And from here on, I really like this story.
Yes.
They're in a strange alien world. They make the ruler and the princess, the Doom's come down there in about a half hour, taking over the place.
Mm-hmm.
I think the designs are great. I think the alien designs are great.
Like the princess has a very like fourth world like headdress or whatever, which I absolutely love.
I thought it for a minute was a character I knew, but I don't think it is. I'm gonna go back to see something while we're chatting. But I like them.
Yeah.
What did you think of the plot of him taking over and the princess and all that?
I think that is it's a perfect Doctor Doom plot where is it? The fools, they live in peace. They are contented and happy, but I'll soon put a stop to that. So Doom is just going to conquer wherever he is, and it makes perfect sense. And he's like, he's going to, marry the princess to further solidify his rule. What does he say? Dr. Doom wants me to marry him, but I will surprise him. He plans to betray the entire world if I refuse him. Even now, he's contacting the planet Talk. And it's like, Doom just cannot help himself. If he's not in charge, the world should not exist, or wherever he is should not exist.
Yeah. Oh.
And
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna say, I swear, I think I saw when I was a very little kid, they adapted into like one of the Hanna-Barbera cartoons with the FF. Because there's some images here that look really similar that I swear I've seen before, but like animated.
Yeah, I thought so too. The aliens look like the monsters. The Talk look like Doctor Who monsters. A little bit.
Oh yeah.
A little like the Silurians, but I kind of liked all of it. Okay, so on page 18, we see what the princess is saying. Oh, they'll use you, Mr. Fantastic, as a bridge? Not a scientist, as a bridge.
No. Yeah.
Ben diamond mining, Johnny Thing, and Sue with a bad hairdo making potato soup for the monsters. That panel does not hold up well.
No.
But Ant-Man,
no, it doesn't.
But look, I mean, they build their own little diving bell to get out. They rescue Ant-Man, who's come to their rescue, and they defeat Doom. And they go back. I like Perla. She comes back, the princess. She comes back.
Oh, she does?
She has 6 appearances in the 616. So that was good to know. I thought I recognized her. Her name's Perla, and she was in FF17, 46, FF1, number 60. That's not right. No, she has appeared. I recognize her. She's in a Marvel Toon, one with Ant-Man and the Thing, and she's in a couple other things. So that's cool. I liked her. I liked the whole design. I thought it was a fun story. I like when the FF go to other planets or strange civilizations.
When they can get Star Trekky is when I really like the FF.
Yeah. But it's...
Sorry, I didn't mean to...
No. Yeah, go ahead. Finish your thought.
Oh, I was going to say, I think they finally, Kirby and Lee finally learned that we can't get rid of Doom. We have to keep him around, because here he just runs away, and it's not like he's shot off into space, shrunk into nothingness. I feel like there was probably a third way they got rid of him.
Yeah.
So they've just learned he's going to always be on the board here.
Well, he's in the next issue. And then he's not back until... Oh, man. For about another 6 issues. But then we get to the point we're getting close to the next one will be issues 17, 18, 19, and 20. Is that right? 17, 18, 19, 20?
I think the annuals in there is between 18. Yeah.
I have it in the Epic. It's after 18.
Yeah. That's where I got mine.
And that'll be the first one of the next of episode 6. Which is fine, because we're getting to some good stuff. We're going to get to the Infant Terrible. Maybe not. But
yeah.
Some more Submariners, some more Doom. We get the Avengers.
We get Super Skrull next time, which makes me really happy.
Yeah. He's not as good in this as he ends up being, because I think he's great. I think DeFalco and Ryan really do. They do such good work with the Skrulls. They do such good work. that stuff, I wish I had all the epics and I would just reread that section. Because I think that's some amazing, other than her costume, is some really amazing FF.
I am trying to build a collection of that, of like basically everything post Burn up until like Heroes Reborn or whatever. So I am collecting.
That's 25 episodes. Epic 25 is the last one before Heroes Reborn. I was watching. Okay. They were doing which one should they reprint one on near mint condition, because I need Heavy Metal and Under Siege. Then I would have 15 through 24 of Avengers, and the 3 after where the epics, where the Omnis run out. So I only need like 4. I've got one on pre-order. I only need 2 of the ones that are in print, and I have all but, there's like a 4-volume gap between the next one that's coming out and getting to Heavy Metal. So, because I made a concerted effort recently to fill up Avengers that way, and I was now thinking maybe if I want the DeFalco Ryan stuff, I'm gonna have to do epics, because they haven't done it in an Omni. I will get Volume 5 in epic form because I want to.
Yeah.
And a lot of that's missing from. I've noticed that there's where their gaps are with some of the longer runs. They're like in the same. They're like 3 or 4 issues in a row now in the middle. I don't know why that is. But shorter runs came out in order. Sometimes, like West Coast came out in order 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Excalibur came out 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. Or no, 4, 7, 7, 8. So that's 5, 6 are missing. So I bought the first few of that, but I'm gonna get the last 2. But once I have it, those short runs. Once I have the whole run, I'm just gonna kind of read it. But
yep.
Well, back to this is good. Another pinup. It shows how Mr. Fantastic powers work, and they're logical. Let's just kind of give an explanation why we made him do all these dumb things.
Yeah.
He can be a wheel, he can be a parachute, and missiles, so he can catch them with his skin and shoot them back at you.
Yep. But they at least try and say, like, yeah, but it won't, like, kill me, but I will be, like, weakened for hours. So, they're trying to make sure it's not Plastic Man-y.
Well, and what I like is, and the reason that certain characters aren't as interesting sometimes is when they're too powerful. I don't find Sentry, they're bringing that concept back. I find it dull because they're too powerful. Superman, when he is written as uber powerful, can get dull. I like him having a weakness. I like Byrne giving an explanation to how his powers worked. So you could put barriers up other than lead and kryptonite. Like, he's been in the dark for 48 hours. His power is slipping away. So that, but I like how they give rules and their world building. I think they're getting, I think we're at a point to where they're getting closer to their swing with longer plots and stuff like that. We're going to see Ramatut. We're going to see some other thing. And once you get past that first El Diablo story that's in Omnibus 1 and get into Volume 2, you really get into those 3 and 4 part stories. And you get some of the classics. So these were that's why I think these are kind of hit or miss. We both like the first one and the fourth one. But the middle was just Silver Age silliness, and they're entertaining. We're not going to bash them, but they're not as memorable.
I probably skip. Those are 2 I wouldn't really actively reread anytime soon. So
So at this point, when you were reading these, how long ago did you do this read? Did you kind of do it out of order?
No, I tried to do all the Lee Kirby in order. So I kind of. Yeah, so you did all those in order.
How many Omnis is that? How many epics is that?
6. It's Lee and Kirby is all 6 epics.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a lot. But that'd be a good run a good chunk to have.
Yep.
I mean, I've got it all, and it took 4 epics. That's not that. That's pretty fat. And the mapping's the same, isn't it?
I think so. Yeah. Now I don't know, like, for the Omnis, if because I gotta imagine that, like, for, like, Kirby Lee, like, they've had these mapped out, like, a billion times, so they know where to stick the annuals or stick guest
Yeah.
appearance.
Well, they also, because they kind of tie into one another, and it's been documented on like Wikipedia and when their published were. So since publishing was, they're pretty much on time. They just did less stuff back then. You can always kind of. I mean, I had no problem when I was a kid reading, jumping from FF to. I was happy when DC put the diamonds on Superman and the shields on Legion.
Yep.
Because I like that. I like those. I liked when Superman was every 4 weeks, and it was like it went from one comic to the other constantly. So he had multiple cases going on, and who's ever in charge of the big story, the arc, whether it be Stern or Simonson or Jurgens or Ordway or Wolfman, you know what I mean? They would, like when one ended, it would be based on the lead creative people for that series. But Marvel was really the king of continuity, and that's, I think, one reason I loved it so much as a kid. So their mapping's I think you're right, their mapping's really tight. When you read this, did you just kind of burn through it? I don't know if I asked it before.
Like the first one I really did kind of burn through, and then it took me a bit to find the second one. Just because I think it's out of print, but I was able to find it for relatively cheap. And once I got the second one, a couple of months after I read through this first one, I read 2 through 6 like in no time flat.
Yeah.
So there are going to be points where it kind of has all melded together in my head, the later part of this run.
And that's kind of, I'm glad I'm doing this with you after I did the big reread of the first Omni. Because at times I was just reading it to get through it, and other times I was really enjoying it. Because I think some of it carries over. I think my appreciation of Jack is watching the art develop and get to that. That Vinny, I don't mind Vinny on him. I bitch about Vinny, but I don't mind Vinny on Kirby. I think they work okay. And that 3-parter right before Senate took over was the first one where I went, this is the FX I know. This is the formula fine-tuned to a point that I recognize it as what good FF should be. And and the art just gets better and better and better. And the bigger panels, like the 4-panel pages, and I freaking love it. One, it allows for more dynamic storytelling, I think. I think it helps the action because you get, instead of showing you a progression of motion action, he shows you snapshots of action. You know what I mean? Like it's Ben hitting one person, then it's Ben getting hit by the bad guy. You don't see what's in between the things, but you can see the progression of the fight.
Right, and you fill in the blanks with it, and it, especially as time goes on, like Stan allows Jack's art to breathe by itself. You're not getting bogged down in caption boxes of blah 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 is happening.
Well, I think
in the same panel.
I think Jack is also saving us from some cheesy Stan dialogue, but I don't. But he's writing in the '60s. People bog him. It's like he's writing for the style of the time, so I don't have a problem with it, and I'm enjoying it. Well, this was fun, man. We'll have to do it again soon. Once we say goodbye, I'm going to talk about some other things I was wondering if you wanted to chat about.
Yep.
But I'm enjoying doing these, and next ones will be good. We get Is the annual the wedding? No, that's annual too.
No, it's a big Namor story. So.
Oh yeah.
We'll see how that plays out for us this time.
No Namor in the next one. We've got the next one is Doc Doom, Super Skrull, Ramatut.
Yep.
And Molecule Man. And then we're gonna get to some more. One after that is Mariner and Doom book ending Hate Monger and the Mole Man.
Okay.
Yeah, but there we get a Hulk thing a 2-parter with the Avengers. So
so we're gonna get into the crossover era of FF.
Well, no, they're guest starring. It's not going from one. But
crossover's not the right word. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, at this point it is. It's the Avengers. They're promoting other books because those are new. Because I mean, in my reread of Avengers, I'm only up to like 11, and FF's 20 issues ahead.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, there's a huge gap, so it's good. Well, thanks, Kirby. And you got any more recommendations? Anything you're reading right now?
So of new stuff, I just read the new Savage Sword of Conan from Titan Comics. If you're into sword and sorcery, I would highly recommend it.
Who's doing it? Is it? Who's writing and drawing?
It's I have. Can I run to the other room real
Yeah,
quick?
yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. And I'll plug some other stuff while you're doing that. So while he's getting your recommendation, I've got one for you all. If you didn't read Robert Kirkman and Chris Samey's Firepower, its 30th and final issue came out. There'll be 6 trades altogether. Read it. Firepower by Kirkman and Samey from Image. It was a nice little. It reminded me very much of Iron Fist, and it's very much like FF. It's about a family. So I just was plugging Firepower by Kirkman and Samey from Image. I cannot recommend it more. So,
I've got the first 2 trades of that. I've got to catch up and finish.
Did you like the first 2 trades?
Because it is really good. I really did. Yeah, it was really good.
The family's so lovable. It is. And the art's gorgeous. So who's doing the Savage Sword?
Okay, so I'm just gonna read through the credits here because this is a big 90 pages, 100 pages. I can't remember.
Is this a collection or is this like the first?
No,
issue?
This is just a magazine ongoing now.
Okay, well it's a magazine size, right? Like the original one was?
Yeah, magazine size.
Okay. Is it black and white?
Black and white.
Oh, I like that.
So introduction by Roy Thomas.
Of course.
Then we got John Arcudi and Max von Fafner. I apologize for butchering these names.
Arcudi, I know.
Yep. Let's see. A prose story by Jim Zub, and a Solomon Kane story written and drawn by Patch Zurcher.
Oh yeah, he took over when Mark Badley left Thunderbolts. I like his art.
Nice.
I like his art. Yeah. I follow him on Twitter. He's really interesting.
So do I.
Yeah, and today he was talking about 2 people. That one was Dick Giordano was his first boss, who was harsh on him, and his mentor was Don Newton. And that just I love Don Newton. I think Don Newton is he died too soon. Starjammers was great. His Batman was great. His Shazam was great. He was awesome. And that really, I'm not surprised that he was Zurcher's mentor. I can see a little bit of Newton in him, which is a good thing. So that's a good recommendation. I'll have to check it out. I have thought about, with my epics, is maybe when they Titan reprints the early Marvel stuff, like the Barry Windsor Smith stuff.
Yep.
I love that stuff.
I've got some of when Dark Horse was reprinting some of those. I got a couple of volumes of that, and it's good.
I love Barry Windsor Smith. I love his stuff. I love the few issues of Avengers he did, like in the 60s issues, and then issue 100, 98, 99, and 100. Well, just amazing. All right, folks. Well, that's it for this week. This is going to go up the day after we record it, which will be. Hold on. I don't know what day it is. What is today's date? Is this the 9th?
March 9th. So
March 9th. It'll go up. It'll be this. If you listen to it when it drops, it'll be the 10th. If not, it'll be whenever you listen to it. And on Tuesday of this week, I will drop the next Opal City Confidential, the end of the poster story. And I'm hoping to get I'm taking a few days off. I'm hoping to get a couple Legion reread issues in together. And then I've got to plan some other things. I have picked the DC event that I will be covering every so often, cover like 2 or 3 issues every couple weeks. I think I've made my choice of the first one I'm going to do, and I'll announce that probably next weekend. All right, folks. Again, thank you for coming on, Kirby.
Thank you very much. Great conversation.
All right. I love talking FF with you. And hey, but folks, remember, be safe, be smart. Please be kind to one another. We're going to an election year. It's going to be ugly. And this will be my 10th or 11th. And there've been some ugly ones. This one's going to be the ugliest. So just be nice to one another, whether you agree with them or not. Just be nice. Just save yourself some energy and take that energy and read some comics.